Thanks for tuning in. This is Octobottom's coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generation Voyager class Rhinox. Now in the Beast Wars saga, Rhinox was my guy. He was like my wheeljack. So when I first saw this figure revealed, I literally just about fell out of my seat. And then having the chance to actually get to see this in person at BotCon, I just knew I was gonna love him. As you can see, the packaging is very nice with the standard Generations packaging. You got a really nice image of Rhinox right here that wraps around to the side. I love that picture. Really cool. You got the Maximo logo there. You got the Maximo logo there. You come around, you got the Maximo logo there. On the bottom, or you got a Maximo logo there. You got the double dealer figure, which I'm on about. Then you come around in the back, you got his technical data, obviously a courage of 10. His intelligence, though, is only a 6. I don't honestly know where sometimes they get this stuff. It's like they just roll the dice and decide, because Rhinox was the main intelligence. And even in the bio, it says Rhinox is rare among robots. He has a brilliant scientific mind, as well as a deep philosophical curiosity about the nature of the universe around him. So a brilliant scientific mind only gets an intelligence of a 6? He is astoundingly strong, able to hold his own against even the most powerful opponents. He is friendly, good-natured, and charismatic, with a fine strategic mind that would make him an ideal leader for the Maximal forces if they didn't already have one. What's more, he carries one of the most powerful weapons of any Maximals in the form of the twin Gatling guns of Doom, which pump out a Predacon shredding storm of hot lead. And one thing that it kind of sucks, you can see a real nice silver paint job or darker paint job here on his Gatling guns, and they're actually just this kind of blob brown color, so that's kind of unfortunate, but the packaging for it is really cool. I really like that artwork there. I'd almost buy something like that to hang on my wall. So that's about it for the packaging, though. So without further ado, let's get this guy open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Transformers Generation Voyager class Rhinox opened up and out of its packaging. And the sheer awesomeness of this figure really is not going to be properly captured, I don't think, in my video review. This guy really is terrific. Now, if I remember correctly, at BotCon, it was announced that his ears would wiggle, which I think a lot of people thought would be cool, and I remember a lot of people cheering and really thinking that was an awesome effect. It doesn't have it on here. They are a soft rubber, so I guess you could wiggle them manually, but I thought that would be cool. Now, if leaving that in would have made the figure overly gimmicked and thus making the figure not as good overall, I'm glad that they got rid of it, but it would have been cool to see it. As I mentioned, these are rubber. There are a couple other rubber bits on here. His horn here is a rubber, and then his back section here with his tail is also rubber. And I love this figure. I think that this is probably one of the best Beast Wars representations in terms of a figure that we've ever gotten. Now, I really did like Waspinator, but I think this one goes even a step further in making a great Beast Wars figure. Now, this is more designed to look like how the original toy looked. In the cartoon, he was a darker tan color, but the Takara version will come around and will probably replace that, as well as fix the coloring on his weapons, which stores up underneath here, which I think is absolutely brilliant. The only, I guess, problems that I would have, I mean, you can see all the different panel lines, but they blend in nicely, and if you squeeze everything nice and tight, it looks a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, it's a good figure. It really is a very solid looking. Oh, I do have a little bit of a scuff right there on his horn. That kind of stinks. Not a big fan of that, but I mean, there are a few ugly parts on him, which Beast Wars figures have always had, where there's some robot parts hiding or showing. You got his hands right here. You can kind of see his green neck section underneath there. Not too bad. These are really kind of strange. These are his feet, and I'm just going to fold them out. What's really weird is it's a molded green plastic, and they painted the top section black. I don't know why they just didn't mold the whole thing in black. I don't know why you would leave that green, because that kind of shows off and is a little bit ugly. But beyond that, I mean, it's a good looking figure. His mouth will open, sort of. There we go. You can get his mouth to open, although His teeth aren't as spiky as they were in the cartoon. I can understand why they were reduced, but you got upper and lower teeth. I mean, and then there's his head underneath there. It's a great looking toy. It really is. Now, for a comparison, here, at least here in the Beast mode, here's Rhinox. Here are a couple of his Maximal buddies. You got the original classic version of Dinobot and Cheetor, and then the Transmetal version of Optimus Primal, which I think scales a little bit better. Getting these guys off to the side. If you wanted to do a true, I guess, Season 1 look, this is more what you would have, but I don't think a gorilla would be that much bigger than a rhino. If you have a crazy imagination, it might work, but I do think that the Transmetal version of Optimus Prime works a little bit better. He's a little bit smaller, and you can hunch him over like a gorilla too, if you really were so inclined. But I really do think, although you don't get to lift his head up, so I guess it looks better keeping them like this. So I think that this is a better looking scale for Rhinox than with the original Primal figure. And then just bringing in Waspinator, you have the kind of newest Beast Hunter or Beast Wars figures right here, and I mean, definitely Waspinator is ridiculously big. The transformation on this guy is actually really fun to do. So first, what you want to do, go ahead and take these side bits here, and you're gonna try and pull them away from the back thigh kind of area. Do that on both sides. Just loosen that up, and then you want to take these side panels and rotate these up, just like so. This is his weapon. It clips underneath here. It's actually really kind of cool. You got two little clips on the inside section here and here that clip around the actual bits here. So we're just going to set that off to the side for right now. And you can see that makes his mouth and everything drop. Then we're just going to straighten out these legs, come around here to the back, lift this, pull this up, and just angle that up like so. Then these thigh bits right here, just going to swivel these down, and then coming around here on this other side, just bring these all the way down till you get that lined up. And I guess here, let me pull these up. I guess I could pull the feet out here, do that on both sides. And again, I don't know why that they elected to not just make this all a black color. That's kind of strange. So rotate this down and pop that down into place, just like so. Accordion that, put that in just like so. Keep that up. Then take this, you're going to swivel the little hip assembly out a little, then rotate it around, and you're going to just straighten out his legs, and pretty much that's all you have going on there. Take this back section, tuck the little butt flap up. It doesn't peg in, I don't think. No, it doesn't. It just stays right there. Take this whole head section, rotate this all the way down, put it along his back. Take these, actually pop these. You see two different hinges here. You got one hinge that's on the back section and another hinge that's there. So rotate this around like so. Do that on both sides, and then you're going to bring those in, and then these sections here actually rotate in a little bit right there. Go ahead, take these arms, swivel these out, and right up here it kind of latches down over the back of the Rhino. So rotate this out, and you can see where the little indentation is right in there. It's going to latch around this piece right here. So just bring that over, bring that down. You can rotate these arms down just like so, angle these in, rotate this section down, push this all the way back. Take this section, rotate that down, bring this down, straighten out his head. These arms here lock into place up here, so give these a nice little pull, and they'll pull out, and then continue to pull, and they'll lock into place. Well, I already did it. So if you don't, it's kind of loose and floppy, but if you pull it a little bit more, you can hear it notch into place. Do that on this side as well. Pull it out. It has a notch up inside, and then a notch towards the bottom as well. And then give it a nice little pull, locks it into place. Pull these out, use a fingernail, rotate his hand out, put that back down, rotate that. Do that on this side as well. Rotate, put that there, rotate that around, kind of tuck this in a little bit closer here. You can angle this so that you can get it nice and close to his chest. Straighten out his legs. Now, one piece that it doesn't really show you in the instructions, and it really helps to really stabilize the guy, because if you don't have him, a lot of his weight is in his head area here, or his rhino head, so he's going to fall back. But one way that you can actually tell is the way that the hips are. Like, you can see the rotation here. All you have to do is bring that back till it notches into one spot, and then it has a completely straight rotation. When you do that, bring that back down. One thing that you can do is you can push it back even a little bit further if you want, and really get the legs underneath the center of gravity there. And that should straighten him out. And boom, there you go. So he stands perfectly fine. You just have to fiddle with this hip assembly. It can swivel back even further if you want it. It just makes him a little bit more of a stocky figure, I guess. And I mean, honestly, Rhinox was a pretty stocky figure anyhow, so it really doesn't matter. And then getting his feet positioned right, and get that there, and I'm just fiddling with him to kind of stabilize him some. You can see he's a little bit wobbly, and that's kind of unfortunate, but you can get him. I mean, I'm having a more difficult time with it because, like I said, my little table that I use here is actually, you can't really tell, but it's like really sloped here, so it gives it a little bit harder time. But here you have Rhinox in his robot mode. And I'll tell you, this is a really fun figure right here. I love this guy. As you can see, I do have his guns in here, which have a really cool gimmick. You push these little top sections, and they spin. They actually spin pretty well. I'm on my finger gun. Let's try that again. Boom! Now that one spins a little bit better. So, I mean, they're great looking and wonderful detail on here. It's just unfortunate that they're painted like this, because I really think that just in general, zoom in so that you can see that. I mean, there's some really nice molded detail in here. I really like it. I just think that it needs a bit of a paint wash on there or something, because that's just really kind of boring. And then you look on the back here, and then to actually put it together, when you take it out of them, it's like this, and then you just rotate that around, pop it into place, and then you have this little plunger here, and then you just spin it, and it goes all over the place. So really very nice. And the figure itself is just absolutely terrific. I really cannot imagine how they could make this better. I remember so many years ago when we got Dinobot and Cheetor, them actually saying that if those sold well and the reception was good for them, that they would consider doing others. And it's taken this long to actually get more Beast Wars figures. First getting Waspinator, now getting Rhinox. And thanks to the Transformer Collector Club magazine, we have our first official image of the Deluxe Class Rat Trap. And just cheating a little bit and showing you guys this. Where's it at? There he is. I mean, that looks simply amazing. And then, of course, there's Tankor, who's coming from Beast Machines. But as I said, Rhinox was always my favorite from the whole Beast Wars saga. So I'm naturally absolutely in love with this. I touched on the fact that his spikes are a little bit, or his teeth are a little bit smaller than how they were in the cartoon. That's more or less just a safety issue. But overall, this guy really absolutely captures the look of Rhinox. It's such a great figure. I'm so impressed with it. Zooming in so that you can see the details a little bit better. That's absolutely stunning. He's got a couple Maximal logos right on the side of his head, which look great. You can see really nice gold color here in his chest, and also down here in his little cod piece. But absolutely terrific looking figure. It just is a wonderful representation of him, and it's the only thing that I could say that's off on him would be the way that his mouth is. He doesn't have that characteristic big goofy lip kind of appearance, but that still looks good, and obviously is Rhinox. For his articulation, he does have a ton of it. The head is on a nice ball joint, so you can get it looking up and down, left and right, whatever you want to do. The shoulders here move all the way around. They also move in and out, so perfect range of motion. The elbows here, they rotate and they bend. They have a ratchet joint here, which is really nice. I do dig that. Nothing at the wrist. The waist does have a waist articulation, but depending on how far you move that back, like for example, mine's pretty far back, and I honestly think that's the way that it's supposed to be, because it really does shift the weight and balances them out front and back. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. So I really don't think he's got much waist articulation. The hips here move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They bend here at the knee, and then the foot, I guess you could say that the toe can move forward and back just a little. He does have an ankle bend, which allows you to put the foot more on a pivot, kind of like that, getting a much wider pose for him. Let me see if I can do a little bit of posing here. So you can get that going for him. It's just really a minimal joint. You can see, and it doesn't move a heck of a lot. It's just a slight movement, but it's still there. So the articulation on this guy is really nice. There is a fair amount of it, and you can utilize it to get a lot of poses. What's going on here? Oh, I rotated him. I was like, why are you crooked? So you can get that articulation to get him into some really good poses. So standing him up, though, we're going to do a little bit of a comparison. So here's Rhinox, and here you have him next to Cheetor, Dinobot, and the Transmetal Optimus Primal. And just because, you know, I mean, everybody likes Waspinator, here's that little bug himself. And as you can see, scale-wise, I really think that Rhinox fits very nicely with this cast of characters. Unfortunately, if you do want to recreate that season 1 look, you're not going to be able to do it very well with this guy. He's very large, and getting these dudes out of the way, you can see that, yes, Primal was bigger than Rhinox, but not by this much. So this scale doesn't work too well for me. I really think that the best scale is going to come in when you have the Transmetal version of him. It just looks a lot closer for the scale. It really makes me excited about getting that Rat Trap figure. Now to transform him back, first what we're going to do is we're going to take these guns and they're going to peg together. They kind of peg together on the outside. Just push them together like so, and then fold these little bits out like that. So this is what you're basically looking at. We're going to set that off to the side, and then come into the Rhinox figure himself, open up his little arm panels, fold his hands back and in. I guess one other slight kind of ugly bit is these don't really fold in all the way. Zooming in so that you can see that. You can't get that pushed in, and you got the hand sticking out there, and that's kind of annoying. But it doesn't look too bad. We're going to straighten out his arms, then rotate him around, and then push him in, and then push him one more click further to lock that into place. Do that on this side as well. Pop that first one, and then push all the way. Gets that locked in just like so. Gonna just lift these, get them a little bit, well, no, we can leave those down for right now. Take this section, lift this up, and then pull this all the way up like so. Bringing this down, and then bring this up and over like that, and line up the head. Get this all the way up. Is that, there we go. That's actually a little bit tight right there. You got a little nub right there that you have to really push and get that locked up. So do that like that, and then you get the mouth lined up, and then bring that up like that. Then you can bring these up, tuck that in right there, do that up here as well, accordion that up and in, rotate these bits out, lined up like so, and then just lift them up, getting them out of the way. Come around in here to the feet. Going to take this section here, pull this away from the body like that. Do that on this side as well. Give it a nice little wiggle. There we go. Get that all the way out. There we are, just like so. Then bring this out, bring this down, rotate this around, just like so. Bring this up, and then you can bring the foot up, tuck that in like so. Honestly, I might paint that. That probably would fix that problem, because I don't like those being green right there. It's just really strange. So got that. We're going to then angle these rotate, get this out of the way, rotate this whole, it's kind of hard to see, get that down, there we go. Gonna rotate this all the way up and inside like that, straighten out these legs so they're like so, and then you bring this whole section, getting this out of the way, up and over like so, and then you can just kind of line everything up here. What's going on down here with his head? It's drooping. Lock that in along the side. Well, here, we'll get that on this side here. Do that there. Keep these up. Bring that down. Get out of the way. Tab that along the side bits. And this is just really more or less now lining up the various panels to get him looking good. So there we go there. Keep that around. Come on. What are you doing? Rotate up in there. There we are. Lock that down. Bring this down. You can tuck that little bit in there. Bring this around. And I like that this is rubber because it allows you to kind of flex this to get it to lock inside the panels there. Get that right there. And it's not stretching any of the plastic or anything like that. I do really dig that. And just make sure that you get the legs pushed up and spread out nicely. Put this right there. Now, with this, you want to keep these little nubs, his handles right here, kind of facing forward. Then just push this in on the side and lock that into place just like so. Straighten these bits out here. And then bring these all the way down. Lock that side bit there. Keep his head there. Do that on this side as well. Straighten this. Fold this all the way down so it's flush. Then bring this. Lock that piece into the side. Give it a nice squeeze. There we are. And then just at this point we're just straightening everything out, making sure everything is nice and positioned properly. And here you have Rhinox back in his Rhino mode. Now, as I said, Rhinox has always been a fan favorite. And for me, one of my favorite characters in all of Transformers. He ranks really high up there with the likes of Wheeljack. So finally getting a toy of him is absolutely wonderful. And not just getting a toy, a wonderful representation of that character. The only way that this could be, in my opinion, improved upon would be the color. And honestly, I don't like picking up Takara versions when I already got the Hasbro one more times than not. But honestly, that Takara one is calling me. I just really like the darker color on him that gives him a much more cartoon accurate look. In terms of his Rhino mode, it looks really good. There are some, minor things about them. I mean, you do have the forearms here showing you got the little green underneath. That doesn't bug me really all that much because it's kind of on the side. And then you have the little bits right here. But really, beyond that, there's so much that's nice about this that I easily overlook all those problems. The transformation for him is really fun to do. And the way that, it comes out here and, there's his head and everything. It really does remind me of how he transformed in the show. So I dig that. And then the robot mode is just absolutely spot on. In terms of a mass release product, this really might be my favorite Transformer in a very long time. I simply love this toy. And absolutely, without a question, highly recommend you guys pick him up when you see him. If you can't find him in stores, go and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store, where this guy is available right now. It really is worth picking up. In a bundle deal, you can get him as well as pick up the double dealer figure for I think it's $50. So $25 per figure really isn't that bad if you ask me. For me, as I said, it's probably my favorite Transformer in a very long time. So beyond that, that's about it, guys. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find our recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.